Hi, we're going to create a platform game. So let's start with a new project. And we're going to call it Platform Game with your name. Don't worry about anything else right now. We'll change it once we get into the project. To make the screen look so you can see the screen better, hold down the Control key and use your mouse to zoom in and out. And then hold the middle button on your mouse to move the screen. Okay, so let's go set up the project. Click on Layout 1 in the Project section on the right. And in Properties on the left, you're going to make the size 1280 by 640. Alright, you're going to click on the link towards the bottom that says Project Properties, and you're going to scroll down a little bit and go to Viewport Size, and you're going to change that to 1000 by 640. Okay, on the right side, click on Layer 0, and we're going to change the color. So where it says background color over here, click in the white and find a light color that you want to use. And then click OK. On the right side, we're going to rename and call it background. So our background layer, we're not going to change at all. So let's click on the lock to lock it. Alright, now that we have the background done, let's add another layer. Right click on the background layer, go to Add Layer at top, and this time we're going to call it Game. Okay, make sure that you are in the game layer at all times until the next lesson. Alright, so let's add some sprites. You can do that two ways. You can either right-click on Object Types, add New Object Type, or the easier way is double-click in the background or in your game and come down to Sprite. Click inside, and we are going to create a box. So we're going to resize that. Let's click up here to the diagonal arrows, and we're going to change the size to 64 by 64. I'm going to keep the aspect ratio and going to align top left. Hit OK. Alright, so let's find a color we want to fill it with. And I'm going to go to the paint bucket. I'm going to fill it. And maybe I want to add a line to it as well. Hold the Shift key down to make the line perfectly straight. And I'm going to exit out of that. And I am going to rename the sprite. Right click on Sprite, rename it, and I'm going to rename this Ground. And I'm going to drag this down to the bottom. And I can just drag this across. We need to give our ground a behavior, so let's right click on Ground and go to Edit Behaviors, Add New Behavior, And this one is going to be solid. A solid behavior prevents it from the player from falling through. Okay, so now we're going to add some platforms for our player to jump on. Let's again go to Object Type, right click, add new object type. I'm going to go to Sprite, and we're going to resize this, and this time it's going to be 48 by 48. Again, we're going to make a box. I'm sorry, we're going to fill it with color. And if you want to add something else to it, you can. And exit out. And now you can put these where you want them. I'm going to hold the Control key down, and that'll just duplicate it. I think I need to zoom in and see, look a little bit. Now, if you drag a box around them, you can duplicate both of them at the same time. So now I'm going to hold the Control key down, and you'll see that I can drag I can drag a few at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and get my platform set up. I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our platform set up. So let's right click over here on the sprite, and we're going to rename it, and we're going to call it platform. And now we need to give our platform a behavior, so let's right click on it and go to Edit Behaviors, add a new behavior. And this one is going to be jump through, the very first one. And what this does is it's a solid platform behavior, but you can also jump up through it, and you'll see a little bit later. Okay, so let's save this before we go any further. So Menu, Project, Save, and you're going to save it to your Google Drive account in the game design folder that we created. Okay, so now let's add some more sprites. We're going to add a player this time, and come down, Sprite, and you are going to go to the Share Drive, and so you'll go to Share Drives, and Game Design Spring, Platformer Game, Players. Aliens works best because aliens have other animations we can use. So I'll go to green, and I like to find ones that have, say, walk 1 and walk 2 or something like that. So I'm going to click on that. And add him. Okay, so let's add another one. We're going to right click in this area here, add frame, Go to the folder, and this time you're going to add the second one that goes with it. Oops, sorry, I didn't click in the frame. Okay, so now we're going to make the animation. So click up here and let's call this animation player. And in order for the animation to work, you need to click on loop. And let's hit play. If you like that, that's good. If you want to have it go a little slower, a little faster, click here. And I like that one. I'm going to exit out. And I think my player is a little too big, so I'm going to make him smaller. And let's see how he looks in here. One of the things we realized in class is that the player looked like he was falling through. So let's make an adjustment. Click in the first frame. Click here in the edit the collision polygon. It looks like a triangle. And let's bring these red squares down. And you have to do that in both parts of the frame. In both frames, I mean. Alright, so let's rename the sprite player. And let's add some behaviors to him. The first one we're going to do is scroll to in general. The next one we're going to do is platform down in movements. And the last one we're going to do is bound to layout. Alright, hit the little floppy disk to save it. Alright, now we're going to go back to add sprites, and this time we're going to add an enemy. Go back to the folder. Go to enemies. I'm going to select the bee. And again, we need to make sure that our bee is not going to fall through. Right click, add another frame. Make sure you click in the frame. Go to the folder and add another one. And I'm going to do the same thing here. This animation is going to be enemy. I'm going to loop it. And I'm going to play. That looks fine to me. I'm going to exit out. And I'm going to rename the sprite enemy. And I'm going to add a behavior, and this is going to be sign. Sign is a little difficult to explain, so I found a video that will explain it quite well. It's listed in Google Classroom. It's also in the directions. So I'm going to pause the video, and I want you to go look at it and come back when you finish watching it. Okay, hopefully you had time to go through that. And I'm going to look over here in the signed behaviors. What enemy you have will, and what speed offsets are going to change depending on yours. So right now I'm at horizontal, sign, period 4, period random 2, period offset 0, come down to magnitude 50, magnitude random 20, enable check. This is what I used for the last game. I'm not sure right now if it's going to work, so let me hit play. Okay, so far that looks good. Now let me add some more enemies. I'm going to hold the control key down and drag and add a bunch of enemies in here. Okay, now let me hit play. At first it looks like they're all going to be at the same speed, but give it a minute and they'll all be a little different because of the randomness. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to save. Alright, now let's add a coin, something for our player to collect. So I'm going to right click, add new object type. I'm going to go to sprite. And the size of the coin of this coin is going to be 32 by 32. And hit OK. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to go to circle. Find a color for my circle. That looks good. Now if I hold the shift key down while I draw, it'll be a perfect circle. Alright. I'm going to right click and I'm going to rename this coin. Okay, and I'm going to get another object, another sprite, and I'm going to change the color of this one. This one is going to be a special coin, so I'm going to resize it, and again it's going to be 32 by 32. Circle, click in the upper left, hold your mouse button down and drag it. Now this special coin is going to blink. This coin, instead of giving points, is going to give health. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to fill this one with a different color. And duplicate it again. And fill it with another color. Oops. going to call this animation special coin. Going to loop it, play it. Works for me. Okay. Going to exit out. Going to put several of these, but not as many as I will with the other coin. Okay, so I will hit pause. You can go ahead and put your special coins and your coins in various places. I wouldn't put too many special coins in. Oh, let's rename the sprite special coin. Or you could call it health coin. Okay, so I'm going to hit pause, and you can put different coins and special coins throughout your